Oh, so close.
Slightly too early.
So close. Welcome to the Big Shoe, guys.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the post-credit show.
We talk about
shoe.
post-credit shoe. The shoot, if the shoe fits.
We talk about games we
fits.
played, movies we've watched.
Things, everything else in between.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. I'm Tony.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
Let's get...
Bye, everybody.
Okay. That was a quick week.
Pretty much my week, yep.
Let's get into it.
I played.
Go for it.
Yes.
I played some Planet Zoo.
We played some Planet Zoo.
The new DLC came out. About
Nice.
the Arctic Pack.
What's it like having a computer? I don't have one yet.
It's pretty good there.
I need to put it up.
It's lively.
I need to put it up.
So either way, the Arctic Pack came out, and in my zoo, I had originally started with like armadillos up front, and because they are from, or not armadillos, sorry, aardvarks, and because they are from like the African continent, I kind of built around them and went like with an African theme, and then there was this weird offshoot that went into like a North American theme, but they only had buffalo and bears and wolves, and then that was like all of the North American animals, and I'm like, oh. Okay.
There's
like,
more than that.
No moose, no deer. Like,
What about beavers?
No,
Because they're not in a zoo.
you could. Like again,
But
like
how often do you see
What
a
about
moose in a
rams?
zoo?
there are now bighorn sheep. This
Okay.
is part of the DLC. Reindeer.
Reindeers? It's
Okay,
okay.
you see reindeer, but you never see a moose in a zoo.
We should.
Well, okay, and if you are
Buffalo, you don't see.
if you're in another
buffalo,
zoo that's not in Canada,
Yay!
Let's just
We're
say.
back. It's for the post-credit show. We do it after the newscast.
if you're in a zoo that's not in Canada, you might see moose. I could see that.
No, you wouldn't.
I don't know.
I
And
think- no.
so that's the pieces. There's
Maybe
now
in
polar
Florida.
bears, bighorn sheep,
You wouldn't survive in Florida.
Arctic
We have
wolves.
weird things up here that shouldn't survive here either.
Right.
Obviously, we have.
The Supreme Court said it was fine.
Okay, Snoke.
So yeah, I went back into my zoo and then had like I started redoing my zoo because I'm like, well, now I have to kind of offshoot all of these places so it's not just
Merry
this
Christmas.
weird. Yeah, and a Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and everything else in between.
So yeah, it's that piece of I'm like you go into the zoo now and I'm gonna split off into like Asia, Africa, and America sort of thing.
Yeah.
So not all the continents because there's not enough animals to do that with. So, but to do that, I've had to like crate up all the animals and then take all their habitats out and rebuild them on a separate part of the map. And then I took my big employee building and stuck it in the middle of the big roundabout now. But the trick is, and
That's
this is the one
ominous.
part that pisses me off about the game, is like there's a trade center, so that's how you get animals. And people don't want to see the trade center. People don't want to see the quarantine or the vet clinics or any of that stuff. But even if you pretty it up, it's still like there's a radius on those buildings.
Yeah.
The radius doesn't shrink after you've done all of this work to decorate the building. It stays that big. So I had to like stack some on top of each other.
You
and
have the
stuff
West
to
Edmonton
make
Mall
it-
issue.
Sort of. Like I had to stack
You have
these.
the Disneyland issue.
I had to stack these buildings because the radius you don't want hitting the path, because if it hits the path and
So wipe
someone
out the
walks
path?
into it, people will go, oh, I don't want to see buildings where people are doing work.
Can't
And
you just put your building off to the side?
you can, but then that causes employees to have, the farther employees have to walk,
Then
the
have
less
two.
they do. Well, so that's the thing is,
The unhappier they are.
right. So you gotta like balance out how far all these
Four
things
corners of the park.
But it's like
Smaller
if you think
buildings.
about it, you go to a zoo or you go to an animal sanctuary. A lot of those buildings they show off on purpose. Like here is how we take care of animals. Here is like the keeper's hut. This is all of the keeper's equipment. This is how they help take care of these animals. Like it becomes part of the learning experience in the zoo and all of that stuff.
People aren't there to learn.
Apparently, but they are, because that's part of this game. Is there's educational features, like you actually have to put signs out in front of your animals to educate people. There's speakers that give information, and they're like education is a stat in the game. So the more the more educated people are, the more they like your zoo.
But they don't want to know that stuff.
But they don't want to know anything involving the actual how the zoo runs.
They don't want to know where the numbers are crunched.
I guess not. So
They
either
don't-
way, like you come into the zoo now, there's a little information booth, and behind the information booth is kind of this larger building that I've made look nice and pretty and put stuff on the walls and plants and a garden around it. But someone at work was like, well, "What did you do last night?" And I'm like, I spent an hour gardening. And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, first I had to lay the fence down, and because it's on a curve, that took a while because that was like piece by piece. I had to like adjust the angle on. And I'm like, and then I copied the fence and put in the dirt patch, like the mulch patch, because they came in strips. So I did that, and I got all my flower beds in, and then I got to start putting plants in, and they're like, are you drunk? Like, are you okay? Like, it's the middle of winter, what's wrong with you?
You on?
Right, and I'm like, no, in my zoo game, God.
Get with the program.
So
I can't zoo in real life. I have to do
I have
it.
to do it, so,
in a simulation.
so now that my Africa part is done, I have to raise some funds again so I can fix up my North America part of the park. So I can put polar bears in a apparently, people are complaining because polar bears take up a mass amount of space.
Well, they are
Surprise.
cold
They're
animals.
bears.
So
And you need to make sure the area that they are is adequately
their
chilled.
habitat, actually they don't need snow. They do need colder stuff, but you can put stuff into the
Ice cream
habitat.
Ice cream cones.
Well, no, they're little coolers. You put them
Yes.
in. And
Beer.
Ice cream
Yes.
cone.
We'll put beers in the cooler.
beers in the bear habitat.
Coca-Colas.
Oh, right.
We
I'm
all
sorry.
know polar bears.
Oh,
like
I'm sorry. I'm
Coca-Cola.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's officially sponsored.
Yeah. But yeah, people are
Coca-Cola
complaining
owns all
because
the bears.
because the habitat needs to be so big, and Frontier's come out and said, like, we've done our research, this is how big, if people run like a polar bear zoo or sanctuary or something, like, this is how big the enclosures have to be. So that's what you get. And I lost my pen, but that's fine because I've got everything written down. Modern Warfare,
Yes,
Yeah.
pew, pew,
Modern
pew, pew.
Warfare, I can talk now.
they unloaded 2 new maps on us at the same time, and by
Holy
new,
sh-
Are they
Yeah.
old?
it's Shipment
Oh, yeah.
and Vacant.
Oh, so
So-
old, new.
And like
New
I said
old.
before, Vacant was actually in one of the bigger ground war maps. Like I'd climbed over a fence and gone like, I'm in another map. So they
now
just
put vacant.
right. So now they just cut that part out and put it into the game. But now there is Domination and all of those games on those maps. So again, Domination, if you don't know, is 3 points, King of the Hill. But Shipment again is still only
Tiny.
that big.
Yes.
And you are playing Domination on it.
Pew,
so
pew.
the middle part, like right in smack dab in the middle, is one of the points. And then
Everybody
2 of the
goes.
corners.
The spawns.
Oh, there's a few more containers open.
There are some extra containers that have opened. They've stacked a couple more. You can climb on top of some of them.
Can
like,
you wall run though?
No.
No.
Thank God.
No.
You can slide, you can turn, you can do the whole.
But
Like,
no wall running.
no wall running.
No.
Which you
That's
don't.
okay.
Yeah, you don't need. wall
You
running.
do we have wall running?
No.
I love that.
But
Anyways.
the best part about that is we also now have, as opposed to Modern Warfare, with the loadouts the way they were, because you only got the same loadouts every
Yeah.
time. This one you can program your loadouts. Well, when Brian and I were playing, I got on a nice enough streak where I got the sentry gun, which I put like on one of the corners because it works in a 90-degree angle. So that was done. And after that one, I got the VTOL jet, which takes up the entire map.
Yep.
So you hit the button, and the VTOL
You're
jet
actually
sits
not
over
VTOL.
top and just shoots everybody.
It's a pretty big plane.
Well, it's
And a small map.
and that's the piece is it's the map size is so
Do
small.
they shoot? Does it shoot through the containers? Can you extra?
No.
Can you?
No. But no one's hiding in containers because you can't get anything.
Well, I had a guy hide in a container.
Did you?
last night, yeah. He kept going to the middle one.
Oh yeah.
For the middle one, there's a container that you could see the
Oh,
thing you just
yeah.
sat in there.
Yeah. But then it's hilarious because you'll spawn and there's 2 guys next to you and you're like, I am safe for I am with teammates. They're not your teammates because the map is so small it just spawns you in a place like
Correct.
this.
Yeah,
is
you
good
pretty much
enough.
respond by the enemy. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, it's whoever reacts the quickest.
Right, but again, like the first time it happened, I spawned and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm with teammates, and it's not like again, Modern Warfare 4 or Call of Duty 4 where you're very color coded. This game has operators, so everybody's got their own skins, and if you don't know the operators well enough, you
Oh,
just
yeah, I
you
got
land and you're like, you're on my team, and then all of a sudden
Ish.
they turn around and shoot you, and you're like, dude, team. Oh, not team kill. That was totally a valid. I could have killed both of them there, and they would not have known. But I
Wow.
ran by both of them like, I'm safe, and they shot
Nope.
me in the back.
It was insane.
It's crazy.
I did it last night, and it's double XP weekend right now.
Oh, nice.
I got 45 kills,
Yeah.
21 captures, 15 defense, so I got like 21,000 points
Yeah.
off that one map. Well, I didn't even reach the next level because
Yeah.
I'm at a high enough point where it's,
Oh. Yeah.
You need that though. You need those double XP weekends to get up there now.
Pretty much.
You need to get to that 50.
And for those who are interested, they do have a free thing. I don't know if it was the other night. Free bundle where you can skip a level and get a new calling card.
Yes, you get a unicorn calling card, and
Unicorn.
you skip a level in your battle pass.
Yeah.
You move up a level in your battle pass.
Which I will wait till near the end and then purchase the battle pass.
I bought it because
I want to see how high I can get.
I
before do it.
am not that far away from it paying for itself at this point.
Yeah, that was insane last night.
Yeah, because it's $13.50 pretty much to buy into the battle pass. A little
Yeah.
less because you get an extra 100.
Well, because you have to buy, you have to buy CP to buy the.
Yes, but then you get CP as you go through the battle pass, and like I had said before, I do like this battle pass because the XP gain is not contingent on you buying the battle pass. You can not have it, like not have bought it, and you're still leveling up, going like, well, I'm at level 44. If I make it to 66, it's paid for itself.
It's totally cosmetic.
But most of the battle passes are cosmetic, which is again totally.
There are a few guns here and there, but
There's guns, but they're skins for other guns.
are they? I thought there was new guns.
They're sort
But
of.
really,
new
in
guns.
Call of Duty, the guns don't really matter.
No, the stat changes.
Yeah.
It's all about how you use it, really.
And again, in this game, it's
and your playstyle as well.
and the attachments you put onto this
Shit,
thing.
he's running
like-
around with a shotgun in that game.
Yeah, I was
it
doing
is.
my stupid. So the one nice thing I found is, and this is Brian and I, because there's challenges you can do. The weapons challenge, the weapon master challenge.
Yeah.
One of them is get 30 kills with a sniper rifle, and I'm like, oh.
Nope, I just skipped that.
I would play that.
You can use a marksman rifle.
Ugh. I still
Which-
don't like that.
See, I like my MK2 carbine, whatever. Like I
The
prefer
shotgun?
that. No. Well, it's kind of a shotgun, but it's a rifle. Like it's a one-shot rifle.
They say it's a shotgun sniper rifle.
Yeah. Either way, I love it, and I've been using that one. So I was like, oh man, it'd be great if I could use this. And then finally, we were partway through a match, and I'm like, screw it, I can't do the sniper rifle thing anymore. So I switched over to that and started getting kills. And then all of a sudden, I checked my thing, and it's like, you're 5 points into it, and I'm like, huzzah! I don't have to use the stupid sniper rifle. Because like the recoil on those is huge, and like aiming down that, like it's just a slower weapon as opposed to just a.
I think I'm into those things. I think I like my sniper rifle, so I think it'd be down for
Assault
that.
So-
rifles. I need fully automatic. So
No,
I need-
P90, man,
I need
P90.
to spray before I get to the guy.
You gotta be methodical, guys. Be efficient.
My P90.
No, because especially in shipment, you are literally just running around. You have to fire from the hip.
yeah, my
You take,
P90.
you
on
take the
that
time
was-
to do this, you're just gonna.
But it's like my shotgun. I sawed off the front of it and have like it's meant for mobility and hip fire shots. Like that's the best part about this game is all of the attachments can change this gun into a completely different gun,
Yeah.
which is awesome. So, no, I've been having a lot of fun with the Modern Warfare.
Yep.
And other than that, I watched that Star Wars show that we always talk about at the end.
So have I.
So,
So skip me.
Chris is just like, and I'm done.
I've been watching more Parks and Recs. I
good
like
show.
it. It's so funny.
It's good.
It's so good. I think I like it more than The Office still. The Office is fun, but it's that dry, sarcastic humor, and it's very cringy. Whereas this sarcastic humor in Parks and Rec isn't as cringy.
But
It's
that's
still
the point.
funny,
It's supposed to be cringy.
but it's like it's fresh.
There's
I've
nothing
never
like
seen
Michael Scott buying someone an iPod for Secret Santa
within the limit of
within the limit of $15 or whatever. Yeah.
all I can think of is that one run that he does for Meredith. That big long. I don't even know what that was from that shirt.
I have that shirt.
You do. I've seen you wear it. Michael Scott's run for.
Michael Scott, Dunder Mifflin. Is it Meredith Palmer? Fun run for the Cure.
Yeah.
I got most of that. I know I got
Yeah.
most of that.
So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying Parks and Rec. It's so much fun. It's good. It's really good. I think after, yeah, it is. I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. I don't know what other old shows I'm gonna catch up on. Probably
Simpsons.
just the boys.
Simpsons.
No, I cannot. I cannot do the Simpsons.
Why?
I cannot. Simpsons is hard for me to binge. I don't know what it is about that show. It is
I'm
very.
not binging it. I'm just.
It's very.
Like one or two episodes.
Yeah, maybe
sitting sort of thing.
Yeah, like it's just it demands too much of my attention when I like to do other things like play Pokemon or read some social media or whatever it is. What does it say?
Michael Scott's Thunder Mifflin Scranton Meredith Memorial
That's
Palmer
way-
Celebrity Rabies Awareness Pro-Am Fun Run Race for the Cure.
You got about 1/4 of that, maybe.
I got Michael Scott, Dunder Mifflin, Meredith
Scott,
Palmer,
Or Meredith Palmer, yeah.
Fun
Fun
Run Race.
Fun run. Yeah,
I got about half of that.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to remember.
It is very difficult. I've been playing two things of Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yep.
It's still great. I mean, I've been on and off about it this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to catch up on it. Pokemon Go released probably, in my opinion, the biggest update ever since the trainer battles and trading.
Yep.
Being you can now have your buddy Pokemon, the one that you have walked to get candy and stuff like that. You can actually have it appear on the map with you now.
Cool.
You can have your Pokemon follow you. So the big piece about that is that he helps you find berries. He helps you find items that are exclusive to the buddy mode. You can have them if your buddy level is high enough now. You can have them do more damage. Their CP gets a buff in raids and trainer battles. So that's a huge benefit. And on top of that, it's just amazing that this is finally this feature that we've been mything about forever with Pokemon Go. It's finally out. Like that we can have whichever Pokemon we want follow us, whether it's big or small.
Yeah.
I saw someone with a what was it, Rayquaza. That was really, really cool because you can see him flying around in the screen like one would.
Right.
I had Ho-Oh with me for a little bit. Right now, currently, I'm with Mew, just because Mew is kind of like my favorite.
Thing.
Yeah, I like Mew. It's not my. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite Pokemon right now, but it's. There are reasons why I enjoy that Pokemon.
We know.
And so that's really cool that you can have that feature and function. So if people want their favorite Pokemon or a competitive Pokemon for that matter, if you want to increase your Tyranitar or whatever, you can have that as your buddy, and it'll do better in raid battles and trainer battles.
Yeah.
They have also decreases the amount of time that you need to walk with them to get candies, which is a huge benefit. But it actually every day it provides me a new thing that you need to play with your buddy. You need to feed them. You need to. It's kind of like a Tamagotchi, but not as annoying. Actually, it's not even.
Don't have to clean up poop.
You do not have to clean up Poke Poop, which thank God. Thank goodness. But I love this new feature, and I guess now the feature is rolled out to that if you have a buddy and a friend who has a buddy, you can link your games finally, and your two Pokemon, you can see them actually interacting and playing with each other, which is actually really, really unique and very, very cool.
I disabled camera permission, so it won't let me do it.
I've disabled AR plus. I still have the regular. You walked zero.
Yes, I have.
Terrible.
I walked more than that.
Useless, Chris.
I walked more.
No, you didn't. I have physical proof. Oh, there you go. There it is. 133. There it is.
It's been a long time since I logged in, because
Yes,
Say you got
Adventure
zero.
Sync catches up to you very quickly. But yeah, I've just been active now with Pokemon Go because it's very cool walking with a buddy now and having them on the field with you. It's actually really cool. It's actually led to the point where people online have been saying, "Hey, can we have a little glow over our Pokemon? Because every time I launch the game and
there's a Squirtle there to catch,
or even a rare Pokemon like Larvitar or Dino or." Yeah, it's people are like, can we have a glow over them so I know that I'm not clicking onto a mad person? It's a rare. I don't know if it's gonna be there for long.
and it's shiny.
Correct. The advantage of having something like Mew or Ho-Oh is those don't spawn. So for me, it's easy to load the game. It's just my Pokemon's with me now.
How do I not have enough candy? That's ridiculous. I've walked 133 kilometers.
That is a 5 kilometer Pokemon, so you get one candy every 5 kilometers.
I know, but 133 kilometers.
That's not enough.
Math.
That's not enough. So I've been playing that and Pokemon Sword and Shield, but I finally got a chance to play, and then of course a little bit more Death Stranding. Still don't understand.
Still don't know what's going on.
I'll get that. I'll get there.
You need to focus on it, and then you will understand it.
But I finally got the chance to play Control. Control is Remedy's latest game, latest action adventure, mystery sci-fi game. It is So the story you play as Jess, and you are the brand new director of a fictional company called the FBC, or the Federal Bureau of Control. Essentially, these are the guys that are like the FBI. They monitor all these unidentified objects. They monitor all these supernatural creatures and beings and everything else in between. And something has happened to the FBC where you are now the new director, and you have to basically take the bureau under your control. Something called the Hiss. I'm not sure, they just called it the Hiss, as an enemy entity, has taken control of the building, and it's up to you to basically bring it back under your control as the new director. This is do you guys know anything about SCP, the SCP Foundation online?
No.
Maybe it's
Special
no. The you know creepypasta?
champions.
You know
Yeah,
you know creepypasta?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, where it's basically fictional stories of these fictional objects that have redacted information on it. That's like, oh, this object is, redacted, or whatever the situation is.
Oh, I'm really
That's
close to my Pokemon.
I turned off AR plus for that. That's why it's too. That's that. Hi. He's not the Pokemon.
What?
You
He looks like a Poliwhirl.
You can't catch me.
Close enough. Yes. So it's an action adventure game where you are in control of the new director. The story's got some weird stuff going on where first of all, it's the voice acting and the performances in this game is top notch, like a Remedy game is.
Sure.
It's very, very good. It's a mixture of CG, or not CG, but like the in-game engine stuff and filmed pieces, just like a Remedy game is. They specialize in it's not all FMV stuff. It's only for specific moments where they're telling you a little bit backstory about the. I would say it's a 80-20% split. Just a little bit of in-game FMV. That's all it really is, and a lot of it is even optional too. So you don't even need to really experience it. It's got this weird control vibe thing where you are in control. Like, as the player, you're in control of Jessie, and she's constantly talking back to you, but you don't talk.
So it's breaking the fourth wall.
It's breaking the fourth wall a little bit, in the sense that it's like, you and I know why we're here, but do I tell them why I'm here, kind of thing.
You're talking to yourself.
Kind of. She's talking to herself, but she's talking to the player. It's a very interesting.
He's such an
fourth
asshole
wall.
too.
I'm a dick. I'm a dick to her.
I just call myself stupid. That's all.
So it is an action adventure game where you are constantly on the move, and one of the things that you do in a shooter game is you can shoulder aim your gun and start firing.
Third person or first person?
It's a third person game. It's a third person at aiming.
So Resident Evil.
Faster, so much faster. So to the point where I don't even use the shoulder aim anymore, because if you stand still for any moment of time or slow down, the enemies will just wipe your health down.
Well, you don't stand still. You move and you shoulder.
It's actually pretty efficient to run and gun in this game. I've found that to be the most effective way to combat in combat in this game, is just to run and gun. I've upgraded my pistol and my throw abilities a little bit more, so that they're a little bit more effective. And that's the other piece about this game. And that's the thing about this game.
P90s.
Is that you only get one gun, but this one gun has different attachments to it.
Nice.
So it starts off as a pistol. Right now I have, they call it the Shatter, which is essentially like a sawed-off shotgun. So I can walk up close and do my damage. But they really encourage you to use the abilities that you gain throughout the game.
Yeah.
Which is the first one you get. I think it's the lash. They call it lash or throw or something like that, where you kind of point the cursor towards any object in the game. And that's another piece about this game. Everything has collision. Desks, chairs, cabinets, paper, everything has collision in it. And so you can grab something with the throw ability and just launch it. It's called launch. You grab something and you launch it towards the enemies. And I've upgraded that to
telekinetic powers.
It's a little bit of telekinetic powers, but there's more abilities, I guess, throughout the game.
Because you have control, right?
You have control. I know. There's so much in this. There's so many puns in this game about who's in control. It's so weird.
It's like this what they call it.
They said the name of the game in the game.
Roll credits.
They did the game. Who did it? Doesn't matter. So you have different control, different abilities that you get throughout the game. They call, and when you come across a new object, they call these things the objects of power, and so each object has a different sort of in-game mechanic. So the first one that you acquire is called the hotline, and it's this red phone, and essentially it allows you to talk between the different ethereal planes.
Yep.
So people in the past director, you can talk to the board, which is this overarching entity that seems to be controlling the FBC, and you as the director are the communication between the board and the real world. You use the hotline to talk to them, and you use the hotline to get new mission objectives. You get it's just a sort of a in-game MacGuffin to provide different objectives. The other object of power that I just picked up recently was called the merry-go-round, and so it was a horse carousel, which gave me the ability to evade and dodge. So it appears that every object of power that you encounter in the game, because it's that supernatural whole. This object was found in redacted state. It seems to have the ability to allow the user to, dash through time or whatever. And it's written in game as an in-game narrative. Like certain things are redacted, but it gives you just enough information to know that this allows you to dodge. This object will allow you to communicate between the different planes. Mm-hmm. So it's actually really, really cool. I love the in-game narrative. This is the kind of like conspiracy theory, FBI, X-Files kind of thing that it's right up my alley.
Nice.
Your gun, you can attach different mods to it, so you can have different effects where you shoot the gun and then it has a 5% chance of returning ammo back to your gun without reloading. You don't reload this gun either. It just, once your ammo is done, it will reload itself, or it will reload over time. Borderlands used to have an ammo.
Certain guns didn't.
Certain guns would do that.
Yeah.
But this is all of that. This is like...
Yeah.
Can I put attachments on it to make it a P90?
You can make attachments on it to make it shoot faster.
That doesn't sound like it.
Fully
looks like
automatic
a P90.
pistol?
It is a fully automatic pistol, and then the shotgun I haven't had a whole lot of time with, the Shatter. But there are certain mods and upgrades that are exclusive to the Shatter gun, or exclusive to one gun, or to all of them.
Yeah.
You can have personal mods as well, so things like increasing your overall health. You can have things that allow you to, it's like a 9% efficiency on your energy meter when you're using the lash or the launch ability or any other dodge abilities. Anything that requires your energy meter, which refills pretty quickly. Right now I'm currently trying to find there's something wrong with the power plant, I guess. I'm not sure what it is. It's very much that FBI, like, I need to get to this place, but I'm not sure why. Right now I'm trying to restart the power plant in the FBC so I can maintain more control over...
Control!
The Federal Bureau of Control and Endgame. It's the Endgame. I will address, though, this game's performance is not all there because of the fact that everything has physics in it. Everything is interactable in some sense. A lot of things, when things start flying around the screen, like if I grab a fire extinguisher and I launch it at another dude and they fly into another fire extinguisher and that also explodes, I've seen this game drop to like single-digit frames in performance. But it jumps right back up. So it's not a whoop whoop. It's more of like a
single frames, man.
PowerPoint presentation, baby. Still better than Nintendo Online.
No, it's not, man.
Have you seen
Super Nintendo games?
Have you seen Super Mario Maker multiplayer?
No, because I only play it here.
Online.
No.
It's for the online.
It's bad.
I have online pretty much for the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games.
Yes, exactly.
The
Super Punch.
and Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield. Yes, so yes, there are performance issues with Control, and I think I've installed the 1.07 patch, which it helps it a little bit, but it's still, there are situations where it can chug. Yeah. Especially when you're jumping in and out of menus, the frame will definitely drop. but after it doesn't last like for a long time.
So when is this game coming to Switch?
It will. The odds of this game coming to the Switch is very low.
But
You
why?
don't know that.
I cannot see this game coming to Switch.
It's fine.
This is probably one of the best looking games I've seen on modern consoles.
Clearly, you haven't played Modern Warfare.
It's a pretty good looking game.
I think this one's pretty good.
I don't know.
I think Control
What?
is.
No,
Oh. Yeah, no, Modern Warfare actually
Pretty.
is really pretty.
Oh, I'm sure it's pretty, but I think Control.
And I can put stickers on my guns.
I think we're talking about two different games, though. I think we're comparing apples and oranges.
I can also put a pizza charm on my gun, just saying.
Can I launch anything at anyone?
grenade
Grenades,
launchers.
grenades.
I finally got a grenade launcher.
Proximity mines.
And
Yeah, as Brian tries to huck a grenade, and there goes a mine.
one of the cool things about the launch ability is that if you're not targeting like a desk or a chair or anything,
Yeah.
if you're targeting just like there's no target on your cursor, she just grabs a chunk out of the wall. And
That's
uses,
fun.
And uses that as the
So you're destroying the building.
correct. Like you
That you're
can.
trying
The
to
building
protect.
you're trying to protect. You're
It's fine.
destroying it.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll fix it later. We got a budget for that. But it's very much that like Twin Peaks, very X-Files-esque of narrative where you're not given the whole story, but once you get there, it's going to be more conspiracies on top of that. It's very cool. This is a game that is 100% up my alley. That is
Game
very
of the year.
no. It's contention though. It's very good.
Well,
This
it's
game-
not, it's not contention if you're already saying no.
It's very good.
My,
I played some good games this year, so
it was funny with Brian with that one, yeah, where we were watching him play because we were both dead. And it's like throw a grenade, okay. Proximity mine just.
oops. Do you not know how to throw a grenade?
No,
He didn't know he had a grenade.
If you only get one lethal weapon slot,
Sure.
so he had replaced his grenades with proximity mines. 'Cause
Oh,
like the game
okay.
modes we were playing, proximity mines are actually pretty useful. They're pretty useful in most game modes, but when you're looking at a window and you need to huck a grenade in there, like
And he didn't.
and so
he hucked a pretty.
hit, and it just because the arc
not-
on those
yes,
is
it's
not-
very
I don't
different.
know if it wasn't this. It was.
Oh yeah, hit
That's
two-handed.
that's a moment where you need to record it.
and never let him live it down.
That was great.
I would have recorded that.
Replay the game.
But yeah, I'd like Control quite a bit. If not for the story, then the actual like combat, because
What I'm hearing is game of the year.
it's pretty good. Like it's.
I'm not going to have a chance this year
No, I'm not gonna.
because there's only like a week left in this year.
I knew I wanted to at least try this game because it was definitely the music in it is really good. The acting in it is so good. It's one of the coolest. It's one of the coolest pieces I've seen in a long time. Because whenever you play these modern games, you have that sort of like bug eye look that you get from when you're talking between each other.
Yeah.
You don't get any of that in this game. I feel like they really motion captured everything,
Nice.
and you still have like the weird stare between faces, but like the mouth movements, the arm movements, the whole body
Well, they're doing
language.
so much
Seems
more.
to be a big deal. I don't understand.
They're doing so much more mocap nowadays too. That,
And this is Remedy as well. Like
Yeah.
these guys are known for their storytelling.
yeah,
I loved Alan Wake and Nightmare or American Nightmare.
American Nightmare.
Those games were amazing.
I can play it again on my Xbox.
I feel bad that I can't play Quantum Break quite yet. Is it on PC Game Pass yet? Because I know it's on Xbox Game Pass. Because I would love to try and see what Quantum Break was all about. Because that was their other.
No. That's wrong one.
But that's me. I've been playing a lot
So
of
then on to the final thing.
on the final
Did you
thing.
watch this
I did
one?
watch it. I
Okay.
did watch it.
I watched it this morning.
Wow.
How?
What do you mean how?
You're barely conscious this morning.
And yet I watched it.
How
I
did
tried
you-
watching it last night. It did not work.
How do we feel about the Mandalorian?
If they
Episode
hurt that
7.
child in any way,
I'm gonna light Disneyland on fire. Yes, I've seen that one. I'm gonna set fire to Disneyland.
I forgot.
that scene.
I know. Oh, how do you
Alright.
you end? That's a hard.
There you go.
That's a hard.
Perfect.
Spoilers and fun.
Spoilers.
That's a hard way to end that episode. That's
Perfect.
Yeah,
Mandalorian. So if
season
you want,
7 or episode 7.
Yes, we're talking about Mandalorian episode 7. So
So beware. If you
Spoilers.
go watch it and then come check us out on the rewind.
yeah.
So yeah, we see them. We see all the
I
story.
knew so he went to collect some people. I knew he was
Yes,
going to come collect some people.
it's like a video game.
Yeah.
It's almost like a video
Yeah.
game.
He went and got some friends.
some peeps. Some peeps.
Some peeps.
They finally come back.
Yep. I honestly love the guy who
Quill,
gives
right?
him No. Well, I love Quill, but I love
Or
the guy
Quill, or
that used to
Queel.
give him Quill. I used to love the guy that gave him missions, like the
Guilty.
no. The guild guy who calls him back to the planet.
Oh,
He's all
yeah.
like, let's let bygones be bygones. Like we
Weathers.
both tried to kill each other.
Weathers.
Yeah, I just love how dramatic he is about everything. Like everything is this big stage show, and even when he like gets scratched up, and he's like, "I'm dying, and I'm gonna die, and this is the end," and it's like, you're just like, "Oh, buddy." But even when he's sending messages to Mando, going,
I look forward to meeting us.
I look forward to a satisfactory type meeting where we can.
But I think you need that kind of character.
But he's hilarious. I love it because he's just this.
It provides so much. It provides so much flavor to the universe.
Sure.
I love it. I love it when you
have this guy who is he's self-aggrandized himself as being the leader of
the Thieves Guild or the Bounty Guild.
The Bounty Guild sort of thing on this
Bounty
planet, and he's taken it to this point where he now speaks in a more sophisticated manner, and it just comes off as just really silly, but it works for the character, and it's still like
it works for the character. It
you're
works
going,
for the
oh,
whole.
this is a trap. You know it's a trap.
How can you not? That's
Right.
That's why. That's why we got Angel to follow him around.
So.
But yeah, that's a weird way to end the show, or not a show,
weird,
an episode. But like it's you building up to something
Last
grandiose,
episode.
something grandiose.
Someone dies in the next episode.
And
Hey,
it's,
someone already died.
well, we don't know yet.
Well, no, we know.
Well, we don't know if he's.
That was a pretty quick shot off of his body.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure too.
I think I know what happens there.
Ming-Na Wen comes in and saves him.
Nope.
I don't think that's a possibility.
Why? She's alive.
Yeah, you don't know she's alive.
There's a lot of theories that she just kind of laid prone
That he
until
did.
everybody
He
got-
shot her in a certain way that wouldn't.
Yeah.
Or no, it was that he didn't know where he was shooting at. She had something on her.
Yeah.
I find that to be a little far-fetched. We'll find
no.
out if she is.
We'll find out.
No, I think the robot comes and he's still barely breathing. Gotta get him.
And that could be
I can see that.
IG-11.
There you go. And it was a way to bring
Taika
Taika
Waititi.
Waititi back.
Yeah.
He wasn't in this episode.
I don't
enough.
know. I don't know if I needed that little bit of a flashback though.
Of him gathering him.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I
That was-
needed that.
That was
I think
padding.
that was just
Padding.
that was
That
padding and character building of
Just tell me you did it. And
They wouldn't do that if IG didn't have a bigger role.
yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
I felt you didn't need that part. Like I didn't need that part of the whole. I went and got him after you did this.
And under New Republic law, I
Yeah, I
claimed
don't
him
think
as
you
my
need
own
that.
or
You could just said
whatever.
I reprogrammed him.
Yeah. Padding.
Drops
Maybe
it on.
some-
Drops boxes on creatures.
I thought that was pretty
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty
It's-
stellar episode.
It's one of the better ones.
And for those of you who were mad that the show wasn't going anywhere,
It's clearly going
moving
somewhere.
towards
Big bad.
Yeah, and it was interesting with the choking thing too.
Oh yeah, the
our little
arm
dark side Yoda.
Is he dark side?
No, he's just
protected.
helping Mando.
and protecting him.
And again, you have to think about it. In every episode, Baby Yoda is pretty much, or the child is pretty much watched Mando kill someone.
But he was I think he was.
It's very much a protection thing.
He's losing. I gotta help.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a child. Like they don't know the
I
difference.
love the
He
ship
doesn't-
flying thing though, where it's just it's
it's
having fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Someone has to always watch him.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's baby. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. He's 50 years old. It's good.
So yes, how they get out of their predicament, how they get the child back.
Do you think it ends on a cliffhanger for season 2?
Yeah.
You
Well,
think so?
yeah, this is where
I feel like they'll get the child
but
back,
it-
but
but
then it's a what happened.
I think
like,
this
that's
takes
the
a-
cliffhanger.
you can't repeat because this would be just like how he got away the first time on that planet was all the Mandalorians came out.
Yes.
Yeah, they
I think this would have been a good time
They
for it to happen.
the Mando,
For
the
them to
Mando,
come behind
Mandalorian
them
squad, the Mandalorian squad.
emptying them out. You can't. I don't feel you can't do that
Yeah,
again
you can't do it again.
because they probably moved on by now.
Or,
They were
or,
supposed
or killed. Either or.
Well, no, because then he was flying next to him on the jet. It was like we have to find a new place for the
I guess
conclave,
so.
and it's like, oh, this is the way, bye.
I gotta
And then
get
I
one of
gotta give me
those.
one of those,
Yeah,
which he should have by now. Like really, that would have
but
helped him out with his prediction.
that would have been. I think this next episode would have been a good time to
To use that.
instead
Do
of
that?
Ben.
Right.
yeah give him a different way out.
Yeah.
The first little bit. But
They'll find a secret trap thing in the floor. Nick Fury will like do a
they'll
little.
shoot out. They'll shoot their way out.
You think?
Pew pew.
I'm down for that.
Pew.
I don't know how because there's like an army outside, and those guys in the dark armor are the special forces.
I know, because they could actually shoot people. See, you only have to worry about those 6.
You take care of the 6 and then you're
And
fine.
the captain.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Just go for the captain first then. Save the trial.
That's what they're supposed to do is go after the captain.
Yeah.
So they killed the one
They
guy.
killed the one dude, yeah.
And then
And then another
there's
dude
always a
came.
bigger fish. To quote Star Wars.
Always is a bigger fish.
Kind of the allusions to like the Darth Vader-ish type character. The TIE fighter landing and him getting out with the cape going and the far back shots.
I was trying to see was it a red cape?
No, it was a black cape.
Black cape.
It was black
Well,
cape.
because the person that went over the main person
Oh yeah,
was red cape.
No, this is a black cape.
black cape.
This new
So-
character.
Was Carl Weathers' character a red cape? Is
Which
he a cape?
Which episode?
That,
was
no,
it?
that's the guy who you're talking about, the sophisticated guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's a brown cape,
Well, it's a
like a tan.
Okay, it's still a mystery who that.
at the end of that one episode.
who
We still
walks
don't.
over her.
Yeah, we
Boba
don't
Fett.
know. Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett comes in and saves the day.
Boba Fett shows up to save the day.
That would be the wildest plot twist that is the most
That is crazy.
the most expected but unexpected plot twist.
So there's 2 Mandalorians out there.
Heck yeah.
I wonder if that's why this guy stepped out, is because they thought Boba was dead.
I think that's the point. Is he was the next Mandalorian to
Out.
potentially. I'm not sure if, and again, this would require reading into a bunch of stuff, but if Boba Fett was part of the Mandalorian Enclave, or if he was just his
He
own.
just stole the armor.
Yeah, like, well, he took his dad's armor. And
Yeah, because he wasn't over the.
It'd be a really cool opportunity if he did come back, but didn't have the helmet on because he wasn't like full on whatever, and it was the same actor that played all the clones.
No.
Well, because technically, as his son, like he'd
I
grow up to
know,
look.
but that guy's sweet.
Well, but he would be old now.
There's only 5-year difference between that
No. But the last time we saw Boba,
was in the Starlight Pit.
I know. Well,
No, as a kid in
as a
episode
kid, like with his mask off.
Yeah, but the last time you saw him,
I know, but we don't know how. He could be. He would be that old now, sort of thing. He could. That actor could pull it off.
I don't know.
I think he could. I think that would be awesome as a like, because he's his. You know, he's the kid, and it's like, yeah, but
I don't
exactly
know.
like my dad did.
I think they go somewhere else that's unexpected. I don't think it's Boba Fett.
Chewbacca,
No.
Han Solo.
I do like the Boba Fett.
Maybe.
I'm hoping on.
Actually, Han Solo would be
I'm
okay.
holding on to this Boba Fett idea.
I don't think it's Boba Fett.
Episode 8, Boba Fett shows up,
Yes.
and thus he
Epi-
is the real Mandalorian, and that's season 2
Oh.
is them fighting for supremacy.
Oh, there can only be one.
Yeah, Highlander.
Meanwhile, the Enclave's like,
Yeah, excuse us. Can
hello, we're important. We
Yeah.
helped out in episode 2
Yeah.
or whatever
1,
3.
3, 5,
One of
12,
those.
6.
Yeah, sure, close enough.
But yes, Nick Nolte's character possibly.
I don't
dead.
know. I still think the robot comes
Possibly,
out, saves him.
Yeah.
Because he's on the brink of.
because he got pewed.
I can see him. I can see the robot saving.
When really it's Nick Nolte's character, so it's his fault entirely because he put their communicators on the same frequency as the.
Yes,
Scout
that was
troopers.
that. Ooh.
If he would have just not said anything, he would have made it back.
Yeah.
But he also wouldn't have hauled butt like he did.
Right, but
Which to me was a weird time thing because it took almost a day to get.
Speeders are pretty quick.
no, but for Nick Nolte, but Nick Nolte's character had a. They stopped for so they would show up in the light. Nick Nolte's character took off at like first light and started. Yeah, it's a weird time.
It was a weird time thing for me too.
But they also walked with humans. That little creature was like hoofing it back. And then hoofed it. Hoofed. Extra hoofed.
I don't know.
Hit the button to eat
I
the
even
carrot.
felt bad for those things.
Yeah, me too.
But he's staying. Don't touch her. Don't touch her.
Put her
I'm like,
down.
no.
I'm like, oh.
He's emotionally attached to this thing that's being eaten by a pterodactyl.
Yeah. Yeah. No, good episode.
Solid.
Stuff keeps
Always
happening.
good. Always good.
And again, it's the.
I don't think I've been disappointed yet.
No. And again, there's the first, and I love how that's the imps or whatever they're calling them, as the Imperials. They kept calling them imps the whole time.
Did they?
Because that's how he got what's her name on board.
Oh yeah, it said they were fighting Imperials.
But yeah, every once in a while they shorten it down to imps, and it's like we have to get the main imp, and I'm like, what the hell is it? Oh, an imperial.
They're shortening it. It's that time of it's that part of the timeline rather.
Yeah, where we can shorten it to.
Imperials are still around, but.
And then it becomes a like, do you know how? Look at the world out there, isn't it? It's not as good as it was under the imperial rule. Da 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 da. And it's like we clearly need this baby to. And I'm like, for what?
Yes. The answer is yes.
And then everybody gets
It's all the
blown
more important
away.
to that one guy, or more important than he knows.
right.
Hashtag Darth Vader's still alive.
Hashtag the emperor is obviously still alive.
Don't tell him. Don't tell the story that.
Which is also causing a big dispute
What?
among people who have watched it.
Oh yes, I know.
I'll watch it.
It's Star Wars. How could we not fight about it? It's the whole point to Star Wars.
Wars is in the name.
We will be arguing about Star Wars and the
There was
validity of a Star
someone
Wars movie for
Posted
years.
I can't remember who it was. It was the guy from the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
In a future or whatever you have to understand, people argue about Star Wars for 40 years. That's good.
But we do, like, it's and it's not like we argue, but the internet gets.
I take,
There's
Hey,
people
there's a
that-
lot of people. It was
But I think
good,
though-
it was-
Oh yeah.
but I think though, like on the other side of the lake there, or other side of the river there, I showed my wife. We watched Last Jedi last night to have her catch up on the stories thus far, and she seemed totally like it's fine. Like she doesn't ask any of these questions, so.
No, to a
like,
general audience member.
To a general
there's-
audience member, for like they have to have.
But even some of the hardcore guys I follow on Twitter are like, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I like The Last Jedi, but that's the thing is.
I like the Last Jedi because it was such a different pace
Right.
than the last every Star Wars film.
And that's
it's so much different.
when you look at.
Finn could have not been in that entire film, but
Yeah. But when you look at, like-
but other than that,
When you look at movies, you still have to make movies for people who have no idea
correct.
the backstory and
It's that
the
balance.
lore to all of this stuff, but you still have to make those people, or at least try to make them happy. But in all honesty, there's more general audience members than there are people who are
Like us.
That is not the sound a Wookiee makes when they are angry.
That is she should
actually-
not. Clearly, she cannot use the
Right.
lightsaber. She does not know how to use the Force.
Yeah.
and it's just like what you have to let go of some of that like perceived notion of what the Force is, what a Jedi is, what now
The reason we all loved Star Wars in the first place was it was a really cool space movie
correct, and a lot of it has to be like
with space wizards and guys with guns.
it's
and-
that you have to let go of that kind of perception of like what just because the story was set X amount of years ago, like 30 years ago or whatever, doesn't mean
things can evolve, things
change.
can't, yeah. And
Correct.
again, there's a difference between a hard set rule where this is what happens, and then they break that rule, whereas no one's ever explained how the Force
midichlorians.
works.
Midichlorians.
But even with midichlorians,
Midichlorians.
that's still in the comics a way of like, oh, the blood count of a midichlorian shows that this person is Force sensitive or more Force sensitive. Like, it's just the way it is.
They're Force sensitive. They don't use what's a midichlorian?
Right, so it's like they're Force sensitive, but it still doesn't say like because you're Force sensitive you can do X, Y, Z. Again, we saw that even when J.J. Abrams like Episode 7 came out. You know, first shot of the movie is pretty much Kylo Ren stopping a blaster rifle like midair.
And then you see Episode 8 with Leia.
Sure, but you're sitting there going like he stops a blaster rifle in midair, and it's like
That makes sense.
dude means business, and this is the most amazing film ever. Like.
Like
Again, Rogue One, we see Darth Vader go full on. It's the Force. No one knows how it works or what it does.
Force. What Luke did, Force projection. Like no one thought that was going to be a
Right,
thing.
you are limited by the power of the movie making technology you have at the time.
And now it's just like Force anything.
Right.
It's like quantum. It's like quantum
Quantum
anything.
in the MCU.
It's like adding the word quantum in front of anything doesn't make it scientific. Yes, it is.
So that's the piece. If these people keep making fun movies to watch, like
and interesting ways of doing things. Like another example being with Captain America in the MCU. Like the amount of times they've used his shield for not a shield has been really, really interesting. And it's just that kind of storytelling that I think that really Last Jedi was really good for. Like it did a lot of different things. Yes, some of it didn't stick, but a lot of like it's still an overall good film.
Yep. I enjoyed it. I had fun.
I didn't think I enjoyed it like it was like the bread and butter. It wasn't I've
No,
had
it's
better.
not like I will go rewatch it over and over.
The only reason I rewatched it last night is because we needed to catch up.
Yeah.
And I honestly wanted to see rewatch some of those interesting scenes.
Like, it's not my Winter Soldier. If I'm looking for a fun action movie,
I'm
like,
rewatching Winter Soldier.
But that's what I mean. Like, I will rewatch Winter Soldier, almost no questions asked. Star Wars, it's like I'll put in like
I'll do Empire.
But those ones I can jump around.
I'll do Empire.
Like, I can watch A New Hope and be like, oh yeah, New Hope, this is fun. I can watch Rogue One and be like, oh yeah, Rogue One. But I'm not specifically like, I'm gonna watch Star Wars and specifically like this Star Wars movie. It's like I'll even put on the Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is fine.
And again, because it's a fun movie, does it add to the lore?
Midichlorians.
No. But like pod racing was a fun part of that movie. Again, as useless as it was.
It introduced us to double-sided lightsabers, baby.
And Darth Maul.
And Darth Maul.
You know, in the Clone Wars becomes a
huge
actual badass character. Like
that's it. That's who comes up. It's Darth Maul.
Still badass.
Darth Maul comes in Mandalorian.
He's still badass in Phantom Menace.
He was. We just didn't get a lot out.
That's who we see in Mandalorian. It's Darth Maul. Darth Maul shows up.
You could.
I'm in.
Darth Maul shows up.
Wait. No,
I could see that.
Oh, he dead.
He's dead.
He dead.
When does he officially die?
In the Clone
Wars
series.
Okay, they officially kill him off in the Clone Wars.
Yes,
series?
he confronted Obi-Wan one more
On
time.
So
oh yeah,
after
that's right. I
Darth
forgot
Vader
about that
he
fight.
goes to Tatooine.
I forgot about that fight. Yeah.
It wasn't a fight. It was a quick.
Yeah.
But whatever. I forgot about that piece. Yeah.
But then there's like, and again, Star Wars is that cool thing where we start to notice all of those tiny little pieces of even the high ground stuff. As much as we all giggle about, I have the high ground and why should it matter? Well, Episode 1, Obi-Wan didn't have the high ground, did a fancy little move to get above it. So essentially that scene in Episode 3 is, I have the high ground. I've told you this story how many times? Like, I've got this. And it's like, well, I'm better than you anyways. And his hubris got the better of him. Does this, tries to do the exact same flip Obi-Wan did. And it's like, dude, I taught you that move. Like, if you could be inside Obi-Wan's head at that point, it's like, dude, my move. By legs.
And one arm.
And an arm. Like,
which is a really weird.
It's a weird way of he sliced him funny. But again, it's like you used my own move against me, and if you actually paid attention in one, like we brought it back for this particular. There's nuggets in those movies.
I think that was just a coincidence.
But
I feel like that's more of a coincidence than anything.
But it's those pieces where it's like, oh, that kind of connects, and this kind of connects, and that's fun, and you just have to watch them as
and I think
fun-ish movies.
It's weird having like significant others that have never encountered Star Wars really, having them watch these films and just having them have a good time. I mean, I don't think she had a good time with it with Last Jedi. I think she just needed to watch it just to know what happens with what so and so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's interesting seeing her perspective.
Anywho.
I think that's it for us this week.
Yep.
So, pew.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys.
The spoiler tag.
We'll see you guys next week for our big showdown.
Well, we're still doing them.
I don't
We'll
know.
figure it out.
We'll figure it out as time goes on. Stay tuned to our Twitter where we will keep you updated.
We'll talk about stuff.
That's what we're doing, but we're doing a past cast at some point where we go over the year in gaming and movies and nerd
overall
stuff.
We'll stay tuned about that. We'll see you guys next week.
Like,
one way or the
share,
other.
subscribe, and go to BrNN.com. Bye.